I'm a dying breed, a laborer, strictly muscle work. Pick it up, put it down. Pick it up, put it down. Pick it up, put it down. Typically in the morning, you wait at the shanty until 7 o'clock. You go in at 7, start working your way up the ladder, climbing up the steel. Every 2 floors, you plank it off. Then you disconnect the bottom of the boom and tie it to the mast at the top of the choking cable. Then you go back and to the other side. I started working structural steel when I was 18 years old. I've worked on towers probably 1,000 feet high. Most people are afraid of heights like that. So automatically, an iron worker has an ego. You're doing something somebody else can't do. And you get to wear a tool belt. And when you're a kid, 18 years old, and you get the wrenches in like a holster, you're like a cowboy. I always knew I'd be an iron worker. My older brothers were iron workers. My father was an iron worker. So it was a natural course of events. My father was very disappointed I didn't go to college. We had a college boy at work this summer. One day he saw a book in my back pocket, and he was amazed. He says to me, "You read?" Well, that's what gets to you. It's the non-recognition by other people. To say a man is just a laborer, a woman is just a waitress, it bothers you sometimes. Some mornings I look across the skyline for a building I once worked on, like that office building over there. You see that building? I helped build it. And I know some guy sitting in his corner office behind his $5,000 desk, and he's never going to think about me. But yeah, I think about him sometimes.
Amanda, where's that P&L report?
It's on your desk.
Why is it not in my hand?
I'm a project manager. I'm here at work at 7:30 a.m. and I leave at 8 p.m. In between my meetings, I answer messages and emails and try to avoid my boss. You always have a boss. Sometimes you have an okay boss, and sometimes you have a sinking boss. He's not the high movie. I just wish these walls were like a little bit taller. I've been in a lot of different cubes. I've been in high wall cubes, I've been in half-height cubes. Listen, the way things are going these days, I'm just lucky to be in a cubicle at all. I have friends who would kill for this job, for any job.
I paper the walls of my cubicle with posters. I bring in fresh flowers, brought in my favorite ceramic lamp. This little collection of things on top of my computer I call my computer gods. I guess I have more decorations than I thought. But in a cubicle, you know, glow-in-the-dark skeletons go a long way.
Sharing a cubicle is sort of like sharing a bathroom stall. It doesn't matter how tall the sides are or how big it is. You're still in there with someone else, in a not sexy way.
I can see the programmer in the cubicle next to me through the reflection in the window. Sometimes I can see her and what she's doing. Quite often she's even little jokes to her sister. I also acquired a webcam. I set it up so it points behind me, and I have a window on the computer screen, which is the webcam vision. And if anybody walks up behind me, I can see them.
I grew up expecting I would get out of college and get $1 million. I grew up expecting that somebody was just gonna deliver a Mercedes to my front door. It's been quite a rude awakening. This is the first time in 4 generations that I've had it worse than my parents. Jobs aren't big enough for people. When you ask those people to define themselves, they define themselves by their jobs. I'm a doctor, I'm a carpenter, I'm a sportscaster. If someone asks me, I say my name's Amanda McKinney, and at different points in time, I do things for a living. My mentality is completely different than the people 20 years older than me. The lifetimes. I have no sense of loyalty because I know they have a business to run. They'll lay me off if it's prudent. I accept that. I don't perceive that anyone my age thinks I've got a job for life. What they think is, All right, I'm going to get as much from this company as I can, and then I'm going to move on and make more money. This is the first job of many.
This is my first job. I smell like a burger. The register is easy. Hey, you want a burger? I get the picture of a burger. Every day the same old thing. Hello, chicken nugget for a pounder. That won't rain, that won't rain. The phone at the end of the counter. See the manager writing down an order. I see the manager making a change. When I see the manager writing an address, I listen to yes, give me some change, and send me on my way. Okay, I'm off on a delivery, and I'm finally on my own. Delivery peace, and I'm headed for parts unknown. Fresh air and exercise, and sometimes I throw in some extra fries. On the day my world is gray, and I'm still accepted. On the delivery, quickly through my hair. No one will watch me, I can wander anywhere. Food is getting cold, and so I do as I am told. Responsibilities, I have responsibilities. See, my father sits at home, he doesn't work anymore. While my mother works in double shift at the department store. And it's nice when I'm the last for money, and it's nice when I'm the last for dinner. And it's nice some nights when you have to get away. I go to work every day and put the money away. Hey, no one can say so instead of me. I'm making minimum wage, making my money, if I can manage to stay. I'll be ready wherever I gotta go. Wherever destiny leads me. Another restaurant needs me, and my family needs me. Delivery, yes, that's always right. Thanks for getting me out of the house tonight. I keep the orders straight and I say sorry if I'm late. Some extra napkins for your plate, or maybe you wait that week for my feet. I don't wander out of rain toward the future new and great. Stop just the start. Wait, I haven't told my favorite part. When they say, fuck it, keep the change. Keep the change. Keep the change. Keep the change. And with my pen I keep the change. I save a little every day. This job's gonna deliver me far away. And I'll look back on this and say, thank God for delivery.
I'm a guy who likes to work. Some people enjoy tennis. I enjoy work. I enjoy being a leader. I enjoy being the guy that everybody looks to.
I like the responsibility of having a team of people working for me. In this world of money management is still the sexiest job there is. Ask any girl at the East Bank Club. Money is hot. True story. They did a study that found that just looking at a Maserati makes girls produce twice as many hormones as normal. Oh yeah. Someone wants to call me a shallow douchebag, corporate tool, a freaking robber baron. I take that as a compliment. Abso-fucking-lutely. That's what this country's about. The free market. Yeah, it's not perfect. But if they'd leave it alone, it sure as hell would take care of itself better than any regulator can. Yeah, some companies will go out of business. Some people will lose their jobs. Some people will lose money. That's just basic capitalism. Who developed America? The regulators? The SEC? Or was it the Mellons? The Rockefellers? I mean, tell me what did they do bad? Rockefeller exploited some workers in the cotton fields. Maybe he shot some. Fine. Not perfect. But who benefited? There's still Standard Oil, isn't there? Mellon's Bank is still around. And tell me, how many charities were created by these people? How many museums, theaters, national parks are here for us to enjoy thanks to the robber barons? These are the giants who created our cities, created our country. Unless you have losers, you cannot have winners. Excuse me. Yeah. Wait a second, I have to take this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Look, I gotta cut this short. I gotta get back on the phone before the money markets close overseas. Everybody works long hours these days. Kid wants to make it, he's gotta be willing to work long hours. And know how to outsmart the regulators to make a profit. It's easy. Christ, if you can't outsmart a little government staff before you go to work, you might as well not go to work in the morning. I should be their teacher. I always wanted to teach. That's what I'll do when I get tired of all this. Get involved with young people. Pass along my knowledge, my experience. My values.
Good morning, Fernando. How are you? Good morning, Selena. I've missed you. In your heart, you may have a dislike for a certain child, but you force yourself to say, "Good morning, Manuel. How you doing?" Someone forgot to take his Ritalin this morning. My name is Rose Hoffman. I teach 3rd grade. At 9:15, we start with arithmetic. I have tables fun on the board. Multiplication. You don't say tables. You say tables fun. Everything has to be fun, fun, fun. I tell my kids, Mrs. Hoffman's here. Everybody works. Working is a blessing. In the old days, I had 18 to 20 children who stayed in my class from the beginning bell to the very end. Today, I have 37 in my class. The children come in, play with their cell phones, and leave. For computer lab, art therapy. Oh yes, I've seen great changes since I began teaching 40 years ago. 40 years ago. My students back then were Polish primarily. I loved the Polish people. They worked hard. My classroom was always a showcase. In those days, we did it ourselves. With colorful pictures and charts on the wall, a snowman in winter, a pumpkin in fall, and all my supplies were in neat little piles on first language at the taxpayer's expense. We had no problems with focus, with discipline. Of course, back then we had the paddle. Oh yes, I'm a big believer in corporal punishment. It helps build respect and trust. I made a big thing about spelling, but they learned by the time I got through. They copied the words till they knew them by heart. 10 times for the dumb ones and twice for the smart. And gold stars were given to those who made sentences too. Why bother teaching them spelling today? Nobody knows how to read anyway. And how can you spell what you can't even say? They say Alpha Español now. No way I've been teaching for 40-some years is no longer effective, or so it appears. Well, damn, it worked for me then, so what's wrong with it now? It wants me to teach, and I come up with the time, but nobody ever tells me how. There is one girl who sticks out in my mind in all my years of teaching. My favorite. She wasn't very bright, but she was never any trouble. I see her every once in a while. She gives no trouble today either. She has the same smile for everyone.
The first 2 months I started flying, I had already been to New York, London, and Paris, which is pretty huge when you're from Kankakee, Illinois. But after you start working for the airlines, it's actually not as glamorous as you thought it was going to be. Sometimes people just get nasty. I mean, they're harassed by security and then they get delivered to us, and your shining personality only goes so far. We get scared sometimes too. I've never yet been so scared that I didn't want to get on the plane, but there have been times at takeoffs when there's been something funny. One time I was working first class, and we had a load full of passengers, and the captain tells me we're going to have to make an emergency landing because we lost a pin out of the nose gear. When we land, the nose gear is going to collapse. So he wants me to prepare the whole cabin for this landing, but not for another 2 hours. And not to tell the other flight attendants because they're new and would get all excited. So I had to keep this in me for 2 hours. And I'm wondering, am I gonna die today? And I'm serving drinks and food and this guy gets mad at me because his omelet's too cold. I was gonna say, you just wait, buddy. You're not gonna have to worry about that fucking omelet. When I told my parents I was going into the airlines, they got so excited. My mother especially thought it would be great that I could have the ambition, the nerve to go to the city on my own and to try to accomplish something. Really, I just wanted to get out of Kankakee.
Breaking on the night, all the tears all falling down. Big truck, you gotta have lights, but I'm gonna be alright. I got to go. I say where you say what. You sit in that truck in your own engine with your own thoughts. And you don't want to get stuck thinking about your problems at home. So you turn up the radio. If you can play it loud enough to hear over the engine. We try to stand aside from something. You think about that girl behind the voice, build up something in your mind until you begin to believe it. State police, I'm in a hurry. Won't you let me go in peace? I'm independent. I ain't got no teeth for dough. Wake up and see I owe. So let the young man tell me where to go. It's the man who knows the lie. I say where and you say where. Round trips around Adams-Campbell and pass within 4 blocks of my house and never go home. Easier to just keep on going. Hey, honey. Hello? Every phone company.
Verizon Tech Support, this is Johnny. How may I help you today?
Yeah, hi. This number isn't working and I have like, what's that? 5 bars.
I'm sorry you're having trouble, sir. May I have the number you were trying to reach?
Yeah, 219-735-4446.
I'm sorry, sir. It looks like all the circuits in your area are busy.
What? Jesus, I can't understand anything you're saying. What is wrong with you guys?
I'm sorry, sir. Why don't you wait 5 minutes and then try placing your call again? I think they'd be grateful to get a live person instead of a computer. Sometimes you really want to talk to them if they sound upset. For me, it's a temptation to say, gee, what's the matter? But you can't say anything more than, sorry you're having trouble. You get caught talking to a customer, that's 1 mark against you. 3 marks? Oh. One time, a woman said to me, "Operator, I'm lonesome. Will you talk to me?" And I said, gee, I'm sorry, I just can't. But you can't. I'm a communications person, and I can't communicate.
I used to think of the receptionist as the loser at the front desk taking phone messages. Then I became one. So, of course, I had to change my opinion. She has to be special, right? Because I'm so special. Well, I was doing fine until this office party. I'd be having a fairly intelligent conversation with someone when they'd ask me what I did. I'd say, I'm a receptionist. And they'd make an excuse and walk away. So now I come up with other names for what I do. Communications control, entry management.
It's strange, but
I'm tired. At the end of the day, I'm tired of talking.
My mouth gets tired because you talk constantly for 6 hours straight.
There isn't a 10-minute break in the day that's quiet.
You can't think about it. Everyone's in a hurry to talk to somebody else, but not talk to you.
What I do all day is say what I have to say as quickly as possible and switch the call to whoever it's going to. I've noticed people have asked me to slow down when I'm talking.
You're in a room the size of a gymnasium, surrounded by people, talking to people thousands of miles away.
I never listen in on phone calls.
Do I listen in on conversations?
But let me tell you,
some people really do.
I once worked for AT&T, and all the girls used to listen in on phone conversations.
Especially if you're working late at night.
I don't care who you are. If you work nights and it's real quiet, you're listening in on phone conversations.
Sometimes the people on the line are so absurd, you'll sit there and laugh until there's tears rolling down your face. Makes the night go faster.
Sometimes to make the day go faster, I'll do drawings, laundry and sort of things, never people. I pretend I'm alone, and it's real quiet. I call it the land of no phone. I never answer the phone at home.
Hello? Oh, no thank you. My husband reads the paper at the office and I read it online. Oh, no, I don't have an office. I don't work. No, I mean, I work. I work. Of course I work. I just don't have a job. Anyway, thanks for the offer.
I'm a stay-at-home mom. I guess in my Mother's Day they would have called me a housewife. It's funny. It's not like I sit around watching soap operas all day. I have a lot to do. You just want something more exciting to talk about at a dinner party, you know? You know, something that matters? What I do only matters to 3 people. All I am is just a housewife. Nothing special, nothing great. What I do is kind of boring. If you'd rather, it can wait. All I am is someone's mother. All I am is someone's wife. All of which seems unimportant. All it is just my life. Wash the dishes, take the dog out, clean the house, shop for groceries, look for specials. God, it sounds so Mickey Mouse. Drop the kids off, pick the shirts up, try to lose weight, try again. Keep the troops fed, pick their things up, lose your patience. Count to 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All I am is just a housewife, just a housewife, nothing great. What I do is out of fashion, what I feel is out of date. All I am is someone's mother,
you scared him like that?
Sorry.
Oh, right, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. You have to make excitement for yourself, you know? Where is he? Where is he? Oh, I've been bit once already by a Doberman. That's the biggest part of a dog's day, when the UPS man comes. So when nobody's looking, you kick him down the street, even if he's just following you. You try to get him for the one you missed a couple of houses back. Yeah, that's the big subject of conversation with us, dogs. And women. If you have a nice looking babe, that kind of brightens your day. We have a code we put in the system. We put a Q. That stands for cutie. If you see a nice little honey, she'll be laying out there in her backyard in a two-piece bathing suit. She'll be laying there on her stomach with her top strap undone. If you go there and you scare her good enough, she'll jump up. It gives you something to do. It adds excitement to the day. UPS!
I didn't want to become a housewife like my mother and sisters. Somehow I knew I wanted more out of life. I was 15, sitting in this coffee shop. My friend comes in and says, "Yo, hurry up. I got a cab waiting and you can make $500 in 20 minutes. So, we go up to this penthouse. The guy up there was quite well known. He wanted to watch two women do it. And then he wanted to have sex with me. I mean, it was barely sex. He was almost finished by the time we started. It was a tremendous kick. I mean, there I was, doing nothing, feeling nothing. And in 20 minutes, I was going to walk out of there with $500 in my pocket. I mean, just out of curiosity, how many people you know can make $500 in 20 minutes work? And I was still in high school.
I think of myself as an upper-class working girl. The press calls me a socialite, which is just another name for a well-dressed fundraiser. To me, fundraising is like candy. You get to talk with fascinating people and promote causes you love. What could be more delicious than that? I began in the 80s. I gave a party in Washington, D.C. for Nicaraguan refugee children. It wasn't for the Contras, although I'm sure that would have been fun too. But fundraising is work. It's hard to separate people from their money. There is finesse to approaching a potential donor. I never talk about money when I first meet someone. It's not like it's a secret. I mean, they know why I'm there. But sometimes I like to see how long I can go before I ask for a gift. Call me a tease.
It's a marketplace transaction. I managed to absorb that when I was quite young. I was a precocious child. Well, actually, I was sort of lonely. I didn't experience myself as being attractive. I mean, I didn't look like the Calvin Klein ad, but I was bright, and I didn't play by the rules. Guys were scared of me mostly. They didn't want to get involved with me emotionally, but they did want to fuck. For a while, I was willing to accept it. I was feeling intimacy, feeling warm, feeling.
The other day I was riding around New York in a limousine during the hotel strike, and there was nowhere to go. And I thought, now I know what it feels like to be a bag lady. You can't just go around and pick up every homeless person you meet and bring them home with you. But if you can help by saying something entertaining, it brings a light into their eyes. Maybe that's what the word socialite means.
You become your job. I've become a hustler. Even when I'm not hustling, I'm hustling. What you do is what you are. I don't think it's so terribly different than someone who works on an assembly line 40 hours a week, coming home feeling cut off, numb. People aren't built to switch on and off like a water faucet.
In 40 seconds, you have to take the wet felt off of the felter. Put the blanket on to draw out the excess moisture. Wait 2-3 seconds. Take the blanket off. Pick up the wet piece of felt and bounce it over your shoulder. Reach over, grab the hose, and spray the inside of this copper piece. Turn around and walk over to the hot, dry dye behind you. Take the hot piece off and set it on the ground. Take the wet piece and set it on the hot dye. Push this button. Inspect the piece we just took off. Stack it. Count it. 40 seconds. In the summertime, the temperatures at our workstations range anywhere from 100 to 150 degrees. I've taken thermometers and checked it out. I have arthritis in the joints of my fingertips, naturally in my shoulder from balancing the wet, heavy piece. The hose sometimes leaks and sprays back at you. The hydraulic presses leak and you're slipping on oil. You have the possibility of burning yourself every time the hot piece touches the wet felt. You're engulfed in a cloud of steam every 40 seconds. The tapes run 24 hours a day. I work 8 straight hours, 2 10-minute breaks, and 1 20-minute break for lunch. I find it difficult to eat my lunch in that length of time. 40 seconds. Granddad was a sailor, and he blew in off the water. My father was a farmer, and I'm his only daughter. I took up with no good middle-working man from Massachusetts, who died of too much whiskey, and leaves me these 3 faces.
Souls someone who brings in new members. You try to build an organization that will give people the power to make changes. I put together a fairly solid organization of 4 people in Pike County to stop Bethlehem Steel from strip mining. I had to remind people again and again that they have the stuff to do the job, that it's possible to win. You see, most people in their guts don't believe it. Nobody believed we could stop Bethlehem Steel. But you see, all the people of Pike County really wanted was a park. Just a place for their kids. And Bethlehem said, you can go to hell, we're not giving you a damn thing. So, I got 20, 30 people together, I sauce leaders, and I said, let's go get that park. They said, we can't. I said, yes, we can. So, we got enough people together, we wrote letters, we protested until we got on TV. And Bethlehem caved. A couple of months later, 4,000 people from Pike County drove up to watch the bulldozers bringing down the land for the park. You see, people are convinced that there is not a damn thing that they can do. I believe we have it in us to change things. I mean, human recorded history is about, what, 5,000 years old? And in that time, how many people have actually made an overwhelming difference? 20, 30? You see, the problem with history is that it's written by college professors about great men. But that's not what history is. History is a hell of a lot of little people, men and women, just like you and me, coming together and deciding they want to make a better life.
If I could have been what I could have been, I could have been something.
A Major League Baseball player.
Oh, a farmer.
If what I could be had been left to me, I would have been something. But then I got married.
And then the kids came along.
Then my dad took sick.
A tower of strength, a center of power. At $10 an hour.
There's always a stumbling block. I was going to work for a few years, buy me a car at West. Well, then I met the wife. That kind of changed my plans. You never know what you wouldn't do.
If I could have done what I could have done, I could have done big things. Someone to do what I wanted to, I could have done big things.
Swam a few rivers, painted all my bills.
Couched the dreams that I suffered in hell, and a lot to show.
You have half a mind and one eye on the clock.
All I'm thinking right now is going home, taking off my uniform.
Putting my feet up in front of the Indian box.
When that whistle blows, you get a lot of guys want to sit around and talk. I just want to get the hell out of here.
Usually you fight the clock the other way. You're not looking for quitting time. You're wondering, have I got enough done? And it's almost quitting time. There isn't a house in this country I haven't built that I don't look at every time I go by. And if there's one stone crooked, I still notice it. The people what lives there might not notice it, but I notice it. Stone's my business. Stone's my life. He builds a house with his hands. 30 years go by, it stands where nothing stood. A house of stone, the mason sleeps real good. He does his workday flies. Quitting time's a big surprise, and then it's one more stone to get just right. There's always one more stone before the night. Every house he builds, every stone he lays, it's not just making money and counting off the days. I daydream all the time about stone. Someday I'm going to build me a stone cabinet down on the Green River. And I'm going to build stone cabinets in the kitchen. Everything's stone. A stone front door. That's going to be very heavy. All my dreams seems like I got to have a piece of rock mixed up in it. He builds a house with his hands. 100 years go by, it stands. It tells you who he was. A life moves fast, but the work a mason does, it's made to last. The work a mason does. There's nothing on this earth gonna last forever, but with stone, you're getting pretty close. It's made to last.
I can't relax. Because when you ask a guy who's 58 years old, what does a press agent do? You force me to look back and see what if I cut the life I've had. My hopes, my aspirations, what I did with them. What being a press agent does to you. What have I wound up with? Rooms full of clippings and a case of colitis. But what I think has been my main problem, the inability to say no. The insistence on being part of everything. The fear you're going to miss something. One psychiatrist told me, a guy with one ass can't ride 2 horses. Being a publicity man, it's a confession of weakness. It's for people who don't have the guts to get attention for themselves. And you spend your whole life telling the world how great somebody else is. In this work, you don't build anything. If I had a little mom and pop candy store, and I built it into a bigger store, I might have sold it for $1 million. Who do I sell my clippings to?
Good evening, my lord. What's exciting at the bar that I can offer? It would be very boring if I had to say, would you like a cocktail over and over? So I come in with a little something different for my own enjoyment. I say, what's exciting at the bar that I can offer, my lord? Or something. They order cocktails, I give them a little philosophy. Maybe over coffee, I give them political science. I have an opinion on every single subject there is. My bosses don't like it, so I have to speak sotto voce. But if I get heated, I don't give a damn. I speak like an Italian speaks. I have to be a waitress. How else does the world come to me? Everyone wants to eat, everyone has hunger, and I serve them. I give service. I can't be servile. There's a difference. I get intoxicated giving service. It becomes theatrical, and I feel like Mata Hari. I can become intoxicated. I'm on stage. There's some that don't care when they put down the plate. There's a sound, not with me. When they move a chair, it'll scrape with a grate on the ground, not with me. I will keep my hand right when I place a glass. Notice how I stand right as customers pass. Serve a demi-tasse with a gesture so gentle, or do it again till it's near Oriental. It's an art to be a fine waitress, to see this pleasure each guest. There's a twist to my wrist if I bring a steak in, and watch how I take in your liver and bacon. It all will be stylish and smart. That's what makes it an art. I remember one day, as I do now and then, I had shakes. Down I went. There's my tray full of coffee and cordials and cake. Down I went. But I kept my voice, not one guest heard me fall. Never made a noise, not one noise, food and all. If you have to crawl, you give them what they like. You carry your tray like it's almost done like It's an art to be a fun waitress, achieving like treasure test. Like tonight was a fight, 'cause they hired this busboy, this slow-roll busboy, and guest her punch. Boy, did we have to quit hard too hard. Even that is an art. Tips! Tips are important to people like captains and barmen. For them, it's a tipsy for me. were so satisfying. I tell everyone I'm a waitress and I'm proud. If somebody says to me, hey, you're terrific, how come you're just a waitress? Do you know what I say to them? I say, why? Don't you think you deserve to be served by me? It's an artist, yes, I can artist, and I'm not your love. So I do this, there is some more out there. No one else has, I swear. No one else has my little face, and I say, I went on a vacation to Hawaii for 2 weeks. I went with my lover. My eldest daughter said, act your age. I said, honey, if I were acting my age, I wouldn't be walking. Not after 16 years on this job.
I worked for them 16 years. And overnight, they let half of us go. It is now known as Black Thursday. They told us to clear out, leave. That's all. No goodbyes. One man broke down and cried right there. What have I done wrong? I've done a great job. Please don't do this to me. My daughter is getting married next month. How am I supposed to face people? Suddenly, nobody calls. You go out, you start visiting friends, but they're too busy with their work. They don't have time for you. This is a psychological, I don't want to get into it.
It was a year ago November, and I'm still looking. But you just have to fight your own way, which I've done my whole life.
Don't get me wrong. In this economy, I'm lucky to have any work at all. But after so many years, I just wish I knew what it felt like not to have to go to work.
When I retired, the first 2 years I was downhearted. I had no place to go, nothing to do. Then I gave myself a good going over. Jones, you can't sit at home like that and waste your time. You gotta get out, do things. Well, the day goes pretty fast for me now. I don't daydream at all. I just think of something else, and I forget it. That daydream, it don't do you no good. Keep busy, keep moving, that's the trick. You wake at 10, fold up the bed. You don't want to leave your couch open all day, you know, it's depressing. You cook an egg, you toast some bread, you cook for yourself, you save a bundle. If you don't keep track of your money, who will? You think about the day ahead, you don't go feeling sorry for yourself. It's like I said, you can sit home and be mad at the world, you can get out and do things. You take a walk, you meet a chum. This one guy lives down by National Biscuit. Boy, you should see the nicer roll. You shoot the bull, you argue some, maybe invites a couple other fellas to come over and play some poker. You lose at gin until they come. This guy remembers what cards you picked up. the dirty bum. But even getting beat at chin beats doing nothing. You take a bus, you take a train, go and visit your wife's grave. On the way you read the Reader's Digest. It does you good to use your brain, or maybe you go out and see a cousin. You bring a six-pack along. You take a stroll down memory lane. When we was young, we was always together. And raising Cain, we go back a long ways, him and me. All the times we had. I remember once, back in '62, we was at this fair with these girls we knew on this crazy ride where you screamed or you prayed with a different call. We could hardly walk when we left the car, so we staggered down for a candy bar, and we sat and laughed in the penny arcade. Oh yeah. At 6 o'clock, you watch the news, them politicians get you so mad you throw your slippers at the set. You cook some friends, no big to-dos. Most nights you lay around and straighten up. Maybe you call your daughter. You watch a game, you take a snooze, but then there's something different. You change your shirt and shine your shoes, cause you're going around the block to the tavern. You shoot some pool, you drink some beer. You don't need to drink a lot to have a good time. Maybe 3, 4 in the evening. You call a pal, you bend his ear. You meet a lot of your old crowd there Sundays. And some of you sing the kind of songs you never hear, like Stardust or In the Mood. And then you cheer. Last Sunday night they played Till We Meet Again. Believe it or not, I once did a waltz to that tune. Honest to God, I did. It was at a dance. I was 17, and the girl was like from a magazine, and the lights were low, and I really mean low. A couple of my friends had something to do with that. And I kissed her cheek as we waltzed away. I remember that like it's yesterday. Boy, was she surprised. I can hear her say, "Show." They drive you home from round the block. You take your cash out of your sock. You fix the bed, you check the lock. You wind the clock. You know, when I retired, a bunch of people told me, "Joe, you got your health, you shouldn't have done it." But it was too late. I don't know why I retired. Just a habit, I guess. But I got no regrets. I keep busy, I keep traveling, I go to fires every once in a while. That fire we had on Milwaukee Avenue about 3 months ago, I was there. I was surprised, you know, the smoke coming out of there, heavy as hell. But you don't see no flames, you know. Boy, that was some fire.
And it's dark. Smoke's pouring out of the goddamn building. It all happens really fast. I feel this tremendous heat to my left. I turn around, and the whole fucking room is orange, yellow. You can just see orange and feel the heat. The lieutenant and the other firemen got the ladder up and saved 2 people. But downstairs, there was a guy trying to get out the door. They had bolts on the door. He was burnt dead. No, the lead man said,
"We lost the guy. Shit! We lost the guy!"
"You saved 2 people. people. How'd you know a guy sleeping on the pool table?
Yeah, but we lost the guy.
No, I always wanted to be a fireman. A lot of guys want to be firemen. It's like kids. Everybody's still a kid. Guys 40 years old still feel like kids inside, except they're starting to lose their hair and don't screw so much. I used to be a cop. You know why I switched to fireman? I liked people. And sometimes, when I was a cop, I would feel the hate coming into me. I remember one time, I went to the roof of this project, and there's this big black guy about 6'7" at the top of the stairs. He had his back to me. I said, "Hey fella, turn around." He said, "Yeah, wait a minute." His elbows were moving around his belt. I said, "Turn around a minute." It dawned on me that he had a gun caught in his belt and he was trying to get it out. I said, "Holy shit!" So I pulled out my gun and I said, "You fucker, I'm gonna shoot!" He threw his hands up against the wall. He had his dick out. He was trying to zip up his fly. And there was a girl standing in the corner, which I couldn't see. So here's this guy getting a hand job. And maybe a lot of guys would have killed him. I said, "Holy shit, I could have killed you." He started shaking, and the gun in my hand was shaking like a bastard. And I said, "Just get the hell out of here." So I took the fire department test in 98 and got called in 99. You know, the fucking world's so fucked up, the country's fucked up. But the firemen, you actually see them produce. You see them put out a fire. You see them coming out with babies in their hands. You see them give mouth to mouth when a guy's dying. You can't get around that shit. That's real. Worked at a bank once. You know, it's just paper. You're looking at numbers. It's not real. But I can look back and say, I helped put out a fire. I helped save somebody. Someone could be born. Someone could grow old because of me. Shows I did something on this earth.
He had a very good day today. We went down to the senior center, just a mile away. Some days he only wants to stay at home, but on Tuesdays they play music and they dance. You should have seen him dance. They were playing Spanish music. He's a hand, he likes to make the nurses smile. Some days he can't remember who I am, but today he was lucid for a little while. And through it all, I take his calls, I change his clothes. Where are his children? Heaven knows. It doesn't pay much, but I get through because I do the work that no one else will do.
She had a very good day today. We went to a nearby park where she likes to play. She's only 5, but she can do it all. And today we took her scooter for a ride.
And I've read songs and things about my life growing up in the South, and my mama, and my grandmama. And now I got my own beautiful daughter, and I got plans for her. So, I leave my house every morning and I go scrub rooms up at the Marriott. And at night, I come here to this office and it's scrubbing again. For generations, that's all we've done, scrubbing. My grandmama, mama, and me. But my daughter, she not no domestic work. I am to be the end and I want to hear about it. Mama worked just like her mama before her. Domestic work, it was a trade. It was laundress, cook, and a living help. Cause the girl, they could see her at the hotel maid. They were 6 days a week, all day long, and never get out of that. Those were the days when the minimum wage was anything you could get. And there you was, thinking we met without faces. Counting going on a first name basis. Talking to somebody you know. And after too many years, Lord, I'm stuck in some laundry room. I don't wanna pick up my room. I love to stay. Just wanna sleep till noon. All day long I'm thinking, my kids are in the street somewhere. And the folks up in the room don't think we're thinking of the time. Always talking around it, like you ain't even there. It's getting so you stop it, you're going I come from 4 generations of cleaning women. But my daughter, she's a whole new generation. And that's what we got coming up today. A whole new generation.
My name's Ralph Warner. I'm 19 years old. I ran this mutual fund for the students at my school. My father runs his own investment firm. I guess that's where I learned. He runs a hedge fund. You know, those are the guys who are always getting caught defrauding their investors. We studied ethics in school, so I'm sure I won't have any problems. I'll be going to business school, Kellogg, naturally. What I'd really like to be is a professional golfer. But realistically, I'll probably be an entrepreneur. And then I'll start a family, of course. My quote, dream girl, unquote, has long red hair, doesn't have to wear a lot of makeup, she's gonna be naturally pretty. I want her to have a lot of personality. Because when I'm 30 and we're moving up the ladder, there's going to have to be a lot more than looks. At first, she'll probably be working, but after our first child, she'll stay home. And she'll be a good mother. I hope to have 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. I would like a colonial house. Possibly one that leans towards a Mediterranean style. Maybe it could even be backing up on a golf course, so my wife and I can play golf anytime we want. I hope my wife can play golf.
My name's Charlie. I'll be 20 in 3 weeks. So, I got recommended for this job in a newsroom on a Chicago paper. I went down to the paper, talked to the editor, told him how much I wanted to be a journalist. He liked me. I had a tie on. Coming to work for me was a kind of missionary kind of thing. I was bringing organic walnuts, organic raisins, and just giving them away to everybody. See, at that stage in the game, I was in a very spiritualistic mood. I was enjoying my job because I was answering phones most of the time. People would call up and complain or have a problem, and I would say, this is a capitalist newspaper. And as long as it's a capitalist newspaper, it's not going to serve you, because its purpose is to make money for the owner. And I would tell them to call up the editor or go down to the office and take over the paper, and a lot of people responded really well to these suggestions. But, you know, the editor calls me into his office and he's like, blah, 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 blah. He take a baseball bat and smash his head in. I mean, he's a really nice guy. I like him a lot. I don't know if I would get any pleasure from shooting him up with a 50-caliber machine gun and watching his body splatter to pieces. But my fantasy, all spring at the paper, was getting a gun and shooting him. Or getting a gun, walking into the editor's office and going, okay, how do you face your death? I've been thinking for months, what was I going to do when I got fired? I knew I had to do something to show them, hey, I'm better than you motherfuckers. I'm getting fired because I'm different. I had to think fast, so I look at the editor and I go, I hope you can live with the conditions you're creating. And I turned around and walked out and started to cry. And the editor, he hurries after me, and he goes, wait a minute, I'm not the one creating these conditions, you are. And I said, no, I'm not the one with the power, you're the one with the power. Now I got myself on unemployment. They were nice to me, the first few times. Then this woman told me to get a number. I wanted to say, fuck you, I could wait outside your house, knock you over the head, and steal your money. Outlet, that's bitterness. No, I don't like being bitter. I'm a pacifist.
Heard a lot of songs say where you go, my son. Now I know they're true. Boy, you never stop to think how fast you run. Now they're taking you. I remember you was 3.5. Your mommy said after things got quiet. We laughed and saw the words you said. I told you where to get together, and we planned our way, planning for our kids. I was yours to go then. And daddies make mistakes.
Lately I've been thinking a lot. Lots of funny things come back, I thought I forgot. And they made me sad. High school and it used to be. I didn't want to touch me, and I shuddered. Further back to summer nights, baseball games beneath the lights, and sleeping in the car. He was my hero, he couldn't do no wrong as far as I was. I thought he was the wisest and the strongest and the best man the tables had turned. You hadn't learned how little time it takes. Everybody breaks, and daddies make mistakes.
This may sound square, but the kid was like my imprint, you know what I mean? This is why we work. Every time I see a smart young guy look at mine on screen chart, I'm looking at my kid. You know what I want? I want my kid to tell me he's not going to be like me. I want him to come up to me and say, Dad, you're a nice guy, but you're a fucking dummy. Hell yes. Otherwise, I mean, if you can't improve yourself, you improve your posterity. You know, life ain't worth nothing. You might as well go back to the cave and stay there. I'm sure that the first caveman went over the hill to see what was on the other side. He didn't go there wholly out of curiosity. He went there to get his son out of the cave. Heard about a song, say, where you going, my son? Down there with you. Boy, you never stop to think how fast the years run. All the things they see. Now it seems I always knew. Why do the things I do and the things I never do? I do the things I do. Why work my home and life so I can live a better life than no one might ever do. I give it to my
You think about a piece of work, even let's say Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel, this beautiful work of art. But if he had to create the Sistine Chapel 1,000 times a year, don't you think that would dull even Michelangelo's mind?
It's not just the work. Someone built the pyramids.
The pyramids, the seer salad, these things don't just happen.
I don't care how little you did. You drive down the road and you say, I worked on this road.
I think that if a carpenter builds a cabin for poets, then the poets owe the carpenter a little plaque. Just 3 or 4 lines on the wall.
Though we labor with our minds, this place
place we can relax in was built by someone who works with his hands.
Picasso can point.
A writer can point to a book. What do I have to point to?
Everybody should have something to point to.
You know what I would like? I would like to see a building. Say the Sears Tower. I would like to see on one side of that building a foot-wide strip running from top to bottom with the names of every person who ever worked in or on that building, all the names. So when a guy walked by, he could take his son, take his daughter, and say,
Soul